everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After our visit to the Twilight Imperium universe last week, we're back to our solar system again as we play Terraforming Mars, the dice game from Stronghold Games. We're using dice in this game to try to terraform Mars for human life. We need to get the oxygen up to 16%, the temperature up to 8 degrees Celsius, and we need to put down 7 oceans. 7? Yes, 7 oceans. Okay. I was just double checking something because setup starts with 1 on the board. But we'll actually be heading over to that because we'll be heading over to that soon. But I will mention that as this is a dice game, the dice are our resources. Say that 5 times fast. Rather than our actions, which you guys know I've talked about it in the past. When the dice are your resources, I don't mind that as much. When the dice control your actions, I tend to be a little bit more hesitant about those games. But that's it for the intro. Let's move over to the main game area to finish setup. We do have a little bit of setup to finish over here. So first up, to check for the awards at the end of the game, we've got our 3 dice set up for that. We've got a... What is that? That's a... Not wanting to focus at the moment. That's a plant symbol on a green die. An energy on a blue. And a mega credit on a yellow. So the way the awards work in the solo game, and we'll be playing the solo game for this, is as those are all common symbols on the dice, we'll need to have 8 of those, I believe, to be able to score. Actually, we need to have 10 of those in symbols to win the respective awards for those. So each win will give us 5 victory points at the end of the game. We've also got different milestones that we can potentially claim. So our first milestone is a monopoly to have 7 dice resources of the same color. So we'll have to go for that one first, or we'll lose that at turn 17. Going away at turn 21 is an award nominee, which I believe is, on your played cards, have 5 cost icons that match one of the 3 awards. So we would need 5 plants, 5 energy, or 5 mega credit symbols to win that one. And next up, and the last one that goes away at turn 25, Mogul. I believe that's 12 cards in play. Yes. All 3 colors count, but corporations don't count. All right, so that's our milestones revealed. Next, we get to look at our corporations. Right? Yes. All right, so our first corporation that we could have to choose from tonight is the Mining Guild, which will just start us with 3 wildcard symbols, which can be used for any resource that we need. We would get 2 gray and a blue on initial production, or Phobolog. I think we played this one last time, where we start off with just a red and a blue die, and we get 3 titanium symbols and 4 wild cards. So let's look at the cards in hand that we have to choose from, because that might help us decide what corporation that we want to keep. So first card up is Regolith Processors, which gives us a blue production. That's what the die is there. We would need a science, a microbe, and a temperature for that, and a heat for that. I believe that's what those resources all are. Yes. Next up, Predators, which needs a mega credit, 2 animals, and an oxygen. The losing anything doesn't happen on the solo game, but it's just worth a straight 3 victory points. Next up, Import of Advanced GHG, which takes an Earth, a Titanium, and an event. It gives us a red die on production and 1 victory point. Next up, Biomethane, which takes an animal and a microbe and lets us raise the temperature. And Tectonic Stress Power, 2 below on production, but it's quite pricey. Taking a mega credit, a science and energy, and a nuclear tag. With that in mind, I think we're going to take Phoblog. We'll play Phoblog as our corporation tonight. And then I'll get our initial resources, which is 4 wild cards, 4, and 3 titanium tags. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so initial production, which we're going to do that now. Yep. Alright, so now that's all handled, which means now we get our initial production of a red and a blue. And these are resources we can use to pay for any of our cards. That's an energy and an event tag, which I'm not completely opposed to that, but we also get to look at our bonuses as part of the solo game and pick one of those. So our first bonus that we're playing with this game is a building expert, which gives us a blue die on production. Next up is administrator. As a support action, we can spend any resource to rotate 2 dice. Networking expert, which gives us a yellow die on production. That could be handy with the needing mega credit dice. And researcher, which has a free action. We can just draw a card. That could be insanely useful as well, which I believe that would be a... Yes, that would be a free action, which is something that we wouldn't have to take, and that wouldn't be our action for the turn. Okay. So, with that in mind, which bonus do I want? I think I want some early... I think I want some early yellow production, actually, because yellow is one of our bonus colors, and we need a lot of mega credits. Unfortunately, we are mostly minus mega credits in hand right now. Well, that's probably not completely... It's going to be very early in the game before we worry about that. So, I think... Let me just double check setup here, but I think everything is all done. Game board's been placed, dice pool is assembled. I'm going to move a couple of these just slightly. Actually, I think I'm going to go a totally different place with those now that I'm looking at them. And I'll come over to the other side to get the green dice. Alright, project deck is assembled. Bonus cards are set up with modification for solo. We'll get extra bonus cards when we reach 5 and 12 victory points. The time cube is going to be yellow. I'm doing everything in red as usual. Awards are set up. Milestones are ready to go. Player order is, of course, yours truly. Projects and corporations are set. Initial production, which I've done, and no first player penalty as it's a solo game. So with that, we are all set to get into this game, so let's jump in and see if we can terraform Mars. As part of solo setup, I will also mention that we get an initial ocean, forest, and city tile. We don't get victory points for any of those. Oxygen actually starts at 2%, and temperature starts at minus 30 degrees Celsius. So we are all set there. Now for turn 1, which the yellow cube will move over to that. Let's see. I need a lot of yellow dice, so I'm actually going to take a yellow die for my first support action. That's an earth tag, which I'm not completely happy to see. Well, it could give... Actually, it would let me get another red die on production, which I think I will take advantage of that. So I'll spend an earth, a titanium, and an event to play out the Import of Advanced GHG. That'll give me another red die on a production turn. All right, moving into turn 2. I think we're going to take a red die. That's a heat, and I'm going to take a yellow. Okay, there's a mega credit symbol, which I'm not completely opposed to. Then turn 3, I'm going to take a green die. There's an animal. And then what would I have to spend? I'd have to spend 2 of my wild cards to play that. That seems a little bit excessive, but actually I think I'm going to spend 1 of my wild cards and my animal to play out biomethane, which will let me raise the temperature. I get a heat die, and I believe, what is that, 2 points for raising the temperature? Let me just double check that, but I'm pretty sure it gains 2 victory points. So I get 2 victory points moving up to 2. Then going into turn 4, I'm going to take a... And of course nuclear is a rare tag, but I'm going to take a red. That's an event, which I'm not completely happy to see, and another red. Another event tag. Turn 5, I'm going to take a yellow this time. Okay, there's a science tag. I don't completely hate that. I'll spend a wild card, the mega credit, science, and energy to play out tectonic stress power, which will give me 2 blue dice on production. All right, then heading into turn 6. I'm not real happy with my hand right now, so I am going to take a production turn, discarding all dice over 3. I will keep the... What do I want to keep here? I want to keep at least 1 red, so I'm going to keep a heat. I'm going to keep a heat. Actually, I'm going to keep all 3 red dice. So I'm going to keep 2 heat and an event tag. I'm going to discard these 2 cards that are doing nothing for me. Then I'll draw back so I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if we get anything useful. Now I wish I'd kept those 2 titanium tags, but I had no way to know I was going to draw that. And then we take our production, which right now is 2 blue, a red, and a yellow. All right, so that's more energy, a nuclear, and a science. Okay, I don't entirely hate that. Turn 7, I'm going to take a gray die. There's a city tag. And a green die. And a plant tag. Turn 8. Let's go for another green. There's a microbe tag. That could be useful. Useful enough, I think, to spend a wild card along with the plant and microbe tags to play out advanced ecosystems, which, if I'm successful at terraforming Mars, would give me 2 victory points, but it will draw me 2 cards. Okay. All right, then I will go to turn 9, where I'll take a gray die. There's a titanium tag. And I'll take another, I'll take another gray die. There's another titanium. I don't completely hate that. Turn 10. I think we might be able to work with this, actually. So, let's see. If I go like that, then I just need a hammer. So, actually, that would be a steel. So I'll take a gray die. Steel's common, so I'm not too worried about that. So, of course, I roll another titanium. Actually, this... This might be worth my last wild card, actually. So, energy, titanium, titanium, event, and the last wild card is a hammer, or as a steel, to play Deimos down, which will let me raise the temperature twice. So that'll bring that up there. I got another heat die, and I get 4 more points since I terraformed twice. That will give me another bonus, and I think I'll take the administrator tag. Okay. So I'm about to lose the monopoly here because that's 7 resources in 1 color. Yes. Unless... No. I think we're just going to end up losing that one. So I might as well just start setting up to play out some more production here. Actually, do I play production here, or... Yeah, the monopoly is going away here, and actually it's going away... Never mind, it's actually going away in quite a while, so I've got time for that. So with that in mind, let's go for a red. There's a heat tag, which I can also spend 4 heat to... That's 3 heat to raise the temperature again. But I think we're going to take a gray. There's a city tag. Turn 11. I'm going to take a blue. There's another energy. And a yellow. There's a mega credit. Turn 12. Actually, if I take 2 blue now, if I take 2 red now, I do get the monopoly. And I can always use any of my excess red as a support action later. So let's take a red. There's an event and another red. There's another nuclear tag, but that will give me the monopoly milestone. Turn 13. Let's see. Energy, hammer, event. Let's go for a gray. There's another titanium. Which actually I don't completely hate that either, because I just realized it gives me more red production. So that'll be a mega credit, an energy, and my 2 titanium to play Soletta, which will give me 2 red dice in production. Turn 14. Let's go for a blue. There's an energy. And as a support action, I'm going to, actually, as my main action, I'm going to spend 3 heat to raise the temperature again. So that'll bump that up and bring me up to 8 points. Turn 15. Let's go for a green. There's a plant. And another green. A microbe. I would have rather seen an animal there, but can't help that at this point. Turn 16. Let's go for a gray. There's a hammer. And I'm going to take the administrator action as a support action to spend the steel to flip those into titanium. Then turn 17, which would lose the top milestone, except I've lost that already. Except I've taken that already. The award nominee on my played cards have 5 matching icons, which right now I'm at 3. So if I can get this energy played, Or if I can get this steel plate, I'd be very happy with that. Let's go for... We've got energy, steel, and event. Let's go for another gray. There's another city, because of course it is. And a green. Okay, there's an animal tag, which I don't completely hate that. Let's see here. So, I think heading into turn 18, I kind of want to play at least one of these cards this turn. So I've got those toward... So I've got those toward towing a comet. Let's take another red. There's another event tag. And then I'll spend a nuclear to flip... Hold on, let me think about this for a minute. I'm going to spend a nuclear to flip one of these blue into a water tag. And turn 19, I'm going to take a... I'm actually going to spend an event to flip this into an oxygen. And then I'm going to spend oxygen, water, 2 titanium, and an event to play Towing a Comet, which will let me increase the oxygen and place an ocean. So that'll increase the oxygen, which will give me a green die. There's a plant and place an ocean. I'll take the 4 points for that in a second, which will also give me another bonus. Question is, where do I want this one? So those are gone. I think I'm going to put this over top of the... Let's see, I need 5 toward one of the rewards. I don't think I'm getting that. Unless I can somehow... Actually, I could play food supply next turn, which I think I will. But... First order of business, let's put that down over 2 green dice. Alright, there's a plant and a microbe. I also get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my last milestone, I think, will be Researcher to give me an option to draw a card. Then heading into turn 20, let's take that Researcher action to draw a card, since I'm probably taking Production next turn. So here I will draw. Underground Detonations, taking a Mega Credit, Event, and Nuclear to give me another red die on Production. Then, so that was a free action. I still haven't taken either of my actions yet. Let's see. So I've got the... So that's going to pay for food supply. The only question is what do I want to do with it, with these dice? Because I can't get award nominee is the only problem here. Alright, so that's in play there. I might as well just set up, since I know I'm losing that anyway. I'll spend a microbe to flip this to an animal tag. I'll set up to play modified mammals. Then I'm going to spend animal, 2 plants, and a city to play food supply, which will give me 2 mega credit dice and 3 more points should I successfully terraform Mars. Then turn 21, the award nominee milestone is gone. Then... I'm going to take a blue die. There's a water. And I'm going to spend this plant to change that into an oxygen tag. So then, yep, that'll let me pay for modified animals. Then for turn 22, I'm going to take a gray die. There's a steel. Then I'm going to pay all of this: science, animal, oxygen, and heat, to play modified animals, which will give me 2 animal dice, which I unfortunately can't do anything with those, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That will give me the mogul milestone, so there is at least that. All right, then heading into turn 23, I think I am going to take a production turn, so I'm going to discard down to 3 dice. I'll discard my red, and the 2 animals. So those are gone. I'm going to keep the mining expedition, discard everything else. Draw back up to 4. Okay, I don't completely... Oh, I should have had I'll keep the steel tag because I should have had 3 dice. And then I take production, which right now is yellow, 2 blue, and 3 red. Get in the tower. Okay, that looks like it's more option to raise the heat. Water and oxygen. All right, heading... Okay, so no points there. Heading into turn 24. Actually, we could put an ocean down right now. Let's take a blue die. There's a water, and I'll spend a water and a heat. Those are flipped over to play an aquifer, which will let me put down another ocean tile. And I think I want this one over top of the 2 green, which means I'll go up 2 more points, and I'll get my 2 green dice. Plant and the microbe, not completely welcome, but nothing I can do there. Turn 25 would remove the last milestone, but I already got the last one. Let's go for a... blue die. There's a water. We would need 3 of those to put an ocean down, and I'll go for a green. There's a plant that takes 4 to put a forest down. Turn 26. Let's go for a red. That's an event that's not welcome. Well, and a blue. Okay, I don't hate that. Turn 27, we'll go for a blue. There's an energy, and then I'm going to pay, I think I've got enough to do this, right? Energy, oxygen, I don't have the nuclear tag for that, but I do have the steel and the event for a mining expedition, which will let me increase the oxygen and get 2 gray dice. So 2 points for me, 2 gray dice, 2 titanium tags, those are gone. And before we move into turn 28, I need to take a small break. All right, we just moved into turn 28, so I'm going to take Administrator as a support action. Let's see, I've got the energy and the oxygen. So I'm going to spend a mega credit to flip 2 dice using Administrator. So I'll flip that into a steel and the heat into a nuclear tag. That was my support action. And then I'm going to spend energy, oxygen, steel, and nuclear to play out a strip mine, which will give me another 2 gray dice on production. Turn 29, I'm going to take a free action as a researcher to draw a card, so I'll draw... Okay, that's a free action that I can just take. Alright, so here I want a green die. Yes, I want a green die because I need to work on getting the oxygen up. Alright, there's a plant. And we'll take another green die. That's a microbe, not as happy to see that. Turn 30. Let's take a yellow die. That's a science tag. I'm not as happy to see that. And we'll take a gray die. That's a steel. Okay. Turn 31. Yip's at it here. Let's see. I need a city tag, so I'll take a gray. There's a city. And I need another science tag, so let's take a yellow die. That's a mega credit. Turn 32, I can spend a mega credit to turn that into a science tag. And then 2 science, a steel, and a city to play a research outpost, which gives me a free action to just to rotate a die. Turn 33. Let's take that free action to go ahead and flip one of these to a plant. Then I'm going to take a blue. That's an energy. So that's going to pay for all of that. That's going to pay for geothermal power. But first, I'm going to spend my 4 plants to put down a forest and raise the oxygen. I'll put this over... Let's see, forests give me... gain 1 VP for each adjacent city. So I'm going to put that down here, which will give me a total of 3 victory points. I terraformed and I put it down next to an adjacent city. So 1, 2, 3. And I get a wild card for putting it down over top of a wild card space. Turn 34. I think we can go 1 more turn. I don't really know what I need yet. So I'm going to take a blue. Okay. And then I'm going to spend heat, energy, and mega credit to play geothermal power, which will give me another blue die on production. Turn 35, I'm going to take a production turn. So I'll discard the microbe and the titanium. I'll discard the world government plantation, which would have given me a forest, but -1 victory point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what I think of my new hand. Okay. If I can get that in play, this ironworks in play, that would be great. Then I take my production, which is a yellow, 2 gray, 3 blue, and 3 red. And a game like this is why I own a dice cup. And cuss and swear when one of the dice doesn't go in the tower. Okay, I don't entirely hate that, I just mostly hate that, but we can probably work with it. Turn 36. These should all be unexhausted, by the way. I'm going to take a yellow die, which is a science, and then I'm going to spend 3 ocean, yes, 3 ocean, to put 3 water to put down another ocean tile, which I'm going to put down over top of a green, which will give me another 2 victory points because I terraformed. And I put it down over a green die. Yep. So I put it down over a green die, which gives me that. That's a microbe, not completely welcome. Turn 37. Let's see. I'm going to take a red die, which is another heat. And then I'm going to spend, I think we're going to go energy, steel, heat. To go for ironworks. As a main action, I can spend an energy to increase the oxygen. Turn 38. We're going to we're going to take a red. That's an event tag. I don't completely like that. And then we're going to spend 3 heat to raise the temperature once again. So that'll be another 2 points. Turn 39. This is not going great, folks. We're going to spend... We're going to spend a mega credit as a support action to an administrator to rotate 2 dice. So I'm going to turn that into a plant and that into a heat. And I'm going to spend plant, city, and heat to play Cupola City, which will let me put a city down. Cities. That's not adjacent to another city. Gain 2 VP for placing it, so I'll place it over top of that area up there. That's 2 victory points for me, and I get a wild card because I put it down over a wild card bonus space. Then turn 40. We'll take a blue die. That's an ocean, or that's a water. Then we're going to spend 3 water to put down another ocean, which will be right here. Right over top of another blue die. That's a water, which is unfortunate. Then for turn 41, I'm going to take a production turn. The only card I kind of like in hand right now is the World Government Greenhouse Gases, which would let me increase the temperature. So I'll discard that. I only have 2 dice left. Draw back up to 5, so I kept 1 in hand, which means I'm drawing 4. Okay. And then we take production, which is a yellow, 2 gray, 3 blue, and 3 red. Okay, not complete rubbish, just mostly rubbish. A lot of event tags, too, which I'm not very happy to see. But those are fodder for administrator. Okay, so with that in mind, we're into turn 42, which I will take a yellow die. That's a mega credit. And we'll spend mega credit and titanium to play hydrogen import, which will let me place an ocean. And I'll put that let's put that over top of this blue, which will give me 2 more points and another blue die, which is an energy. Okay. Turn 43. I'll take a green die, which is a plant, and then I'll spend an energy on Ironworks as my main action, which will let me raise the oxygen and give me 2 heat dice. Turn 44. I don't think we're going to make it, kids. Not unless we get very, very lucky. Let's take a free action to draw a card first. Maybe open up my options a little bit. Not entirely. Okay, so as a support action, we're going to spend a research outpost to... This is actually a free action, so we're going to spend that to change this into an earth die, which is right there. So that's going to cover that. Here I'm going to take a green die. I've got to remember too, I've got 2 wild cards to work with. But I'll spend earth and heat to play world government greenhouse gases to raise the temperature again. So we're at -4. All right, turn 45, we're very much down to the nitty gritty of it here. Let's see here. I'm going to spend a gray into administrator to change 2 dice. So we're going to change that to a microbe. And I need another heat. Let's see, then do I have enough to pay for this? So if I use if I go wild card, plant microbe, water, heat. Yep, I will have enough to pay for this. I'll show you what this is once I get done paying for it. We're playing fertile fields, which will let me raise the oxygen effectively twice. Because I've got a straight oxygen increase and then another for a forest tile, which will give me a total of 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I get to increase the oxygen twice, and I get to put a city or another forest down. I'll put it down over this wild card. Let's see. Then I need to be able to... Let's see. Oxygen 1 more time. Temperature 3 more. Heading into turn 46, I think I'd better take a production turn. Yeah, I need to be able to put down 1 more ocean as well. So I'm going to discard everything. Draw back to 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ooh, this could be very useful. Let's see what happens on production, though. This is probably a pretty important... I would say this is a critical production. Yellow, 3 red, 3 blue, 2 gray. And we should have discarded down. We'll discard these 3 dice. I can get the last boost in oxygen, but I also need to be able to put down my last ocean tile. All right, let's sort all that out. I have a feeling I'm not going to like what I see, though. We'll find out soon enough, though. Let's look compared to my hand. Yeah, I think I can probably work with this. Time is definitely not on my side, though, that's for sure. These all refresh as well. Okay, so turn 47. I think our first order of business will be the last oxygen boost. So with that in mind, I think we'll take a red. That's another heat. And then we'll spend an energy into ironworks, and that's our last oxygen boost. Turn 48, I need to be able to raise the temperature 3 more times. This is going to be expensive, but probably doable. Well, those 3 he'd have to go for 1 of the temperature boosts. I should have the wild cards to pull this off. But I need to be able to raise the temperature every single turn here. Like I said, that's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. This is going to be close is what it's going to be. Alright, so I'll probably need a yellow die for this. That won't help. And we'll use water, steel, and heat to play Deep Well Heating. That'll give me a temperature boost and 2 more energy, which will also give me 2 more water, which is the other... I forgot that was a problem as well, because we still have to put our last ocean tile down, which will probably be fine here. Alright, so turn 49. Let's see, we need to go Mega Credit. We need to go Mega Credit Water. Let's take a red. That's a nuclear. That's not something I want to see here. Actually, we can probably work around it. So I'll spend the 3 heat to raise the temperature 1 more step. And then turn 50. This is going to be the last turn of the game. So I've got to be able to put both an ocean... I've got to both be able to put my last ocean down and raise the temperature 1 more step. The question is, can I? And I think the answer is yes. So I need heat, or I need Mega Credit Water. Yeah, I think we can do this. So Mega Credit Water, we'll spend an energy to change that into a titanium, and then both my wild cards, one's going to be going as a heat, the other's going as an event tag, to play a comet, which will be my last temperature boost and my last ocean tile. So temperature and ocean will go wherever because it doesn't really matter. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4 successfully terraformed Mars somehow. Don't ask me how because the answer will be I have no idea. But we do get to count our victory points here. So we picked up 47 from where we ended up on the track. Total up our cards. 48. Uh, 49, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we ended up less than 60, which means we got a... Once it decides to focus, we got a no comment result on a 56 victory point total, but at least we managed to terraform Mars for human life, basically by the skin of our teeth. That will do it for this playthrough of Terraforming Mars, the dice game, but we're not quite done yet because we got a couple of deliveries. I got a couple of deliveries in. Oh, plus our victory points for the milestones. I almost forgot about that. So 56 plus each of those are worth... How many victory points? I believe 4. Yeah, 4 for each of those. So 56, we actually ended up with 64, which is a you can do better victory, but the victory point cards just were not coming up. Anyway, now that will do it for this playthrough of Terraforming Mars, the dice game. Still not done, though, because I got a pair of deliveries in over the last few days. So we're going to go ahead and crack that open, and crack those open, and we'll see what we got. I've gotten this pair of deliveries in from Amazon over the last few days. So let's go ahead and crack these open. We're going to crack this one first. Let's see what's in here. I have a feeling whichever one of these is going to tip off what's in for the other. So in here we find first up we find the core book for 4 Against Darkness, a solitaire dungeon-dwelling pen and paper game. Entering the dungeon is easy, but will you get out of it alive? Four Against Darkness is a solitaire dungeon delving game that may be played cooperatively. No miniatures needed. All you need is this book, a pencil, 2 dice, and grid paper. Choose 4 characters from a list of classic types. Yada yada yada. Equip them and venture into dungeons created by dice rolls and your own choices. You will fight monsters, manage resources, grab treasure, dodge traps, find clues, and even accept quests from the monsters themselves. Your characters will level up, becoming more powerful with each game, if they survive. And we've got Echoes of the Dead, a 3-part adventure for Four Against Darkness, recommended for beginning characters. We won't spoil anything there, but we'll find in this mailer we've got Treacheries of the Troublesome Towns Tome 2, a living town generator for Four Against Darkness for characters of any level. So I'm working on exploring more solo RPGs, because I really like the RPG genre, and I want to explore it on the tabletop as well. I've also got D100 Dungeon that I want to delve into, so now this gives me another one that I can sink my teeth into. And definitely with an extended off-season coming up, I'll be looking into doing a lot more pleasure gaming. But that will do it for this playthrough of Terraforming Mars, the dice game, along with a small product unboxing. Still a busy time coming up on the channel. Next week, well, Saturday, Mystical Munchies will finish out of the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Blackspire Outpost cookbook with a dessert, Zoochberry Surprise. Sunday, we're playing Gaia Project. And later on Sunday, there may be a test stream. There may be a test baseball stream as well. As for next week, the schedule is going to look a little bit weird. Either Monday or Tuesday next week, and I haven't decided which day yet. We're going to have the play-in game for the 2024 Summer of Lovecraft as we play Pandemic, Reign of Cthulhu. Wednesday next week, we'll have Pinot with Phoenix for July 2024. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.